So now let me introduce our project team. First of all, I'd like to introduce the main project maintainers. There is Gauri, who is the lead maintainer for the Android group project. Gauri is a software engineer with 12 plus years of experience, 6 of them working on Android development. And she likes working in the health and fitness space and finds it very rewarding. Next, we have Ren, who is also a project maintainer. Ren is a software engineer interested in the intersection of mobile apps and medtech. She has a breadth of experience at Pfizer, the Mount Sinai Health System, and New York Presbyterian. She's a chronic reader with a penchant for climate talks, social good, and her cat Chicken. And our newest and equally valuable maintainer is Sepideh Miller, who is an Android developer in Colorado. She likes to knit and ride her bike, but not at the same time. And other members of our team include Cecelia Martinez. She is, let's see, our team's project manager and also the project manager for the iOS project as well. Cecelia is a lead developer advocate at OutSystems. She also volunteers for several organizations, including WWWCode Mobile, and is a previous GitHub star. And thank you so much, Cecelia, for creating all of our issues and the GitHub project boards, which has been super helpful for our projects. And then finally, as I mentioned before, I'm Nguyen. I'm the Leadership Fellow for WWWCode Mobile. I am a software engineer with over 20 years of experience. I've been doing native iOS development since 2016, and I'm also learning Android development on the side. I am a floating maintainer for this project, and I was the one that kickstarted this initiative and is generally the project lead for Android project as well as the iOS group project. So now we'll continue with Gauri.
Yeah. Thank you, Wee, for walking us through those slides, and thank you for thinking of this initiative and kicking this off. When we started this, like back in November, December last year, yeah, it's been an amazing run. Like we had some amazing discussions with even, I just want to call out like Claudia and Devanshi, our iOS counterparts as well. So thank you all. And thank you, Sepideh, for joining us and like hit the ground running. Really appreciate all you did. So today we're just gonna have a very short agenda. We'll have a review of what we originally planned to do and build for our MVP app. Take a look at what we built for our MVP, look at the demo, and have a quick code run through. And the most important thing we want to do today is celebrate you all, the contributors. And Wui is going to talk a little bit about what happens next. And if you all would like to hang out and just chat in our meet and greet, we would love to hang out and talk to you all. So let's look at what the wireframes were when we sought out to start building something that we wanted to build both on Android and iOS for this group project. So we wanted to build a task tracker app which had 3 functionalities: add, view, and edit, and delete. So right now we're looking at the add flow. So this is the first screen that the user lands on. If user has any activities added, you would see them here. And if you don't have any activities yet, then you can click add the add button and add an activity, add the title, update the start time, end time, and the date of the activity. You have those native date pickers and time pickers here. In the detail and edit flow, once you tap on any of the activity from the activity list, you are taken to the edit flow where you see you can edit like the activity title or the date, start time, end time, any of these things. If you edit something and you have like unsaved data, and before you go back to this, like you click on the X mark, you get a prompt saying you have unsaved data. Are you sure you want to close without saving? So we want to make sure that users don't lose any unsaved data. And similarly, you go to the delete flow by tapping on any of the activities. And if you click on the delete icon here, you get the prompt. Are you sure you want to delete entry? We want to confirm user actually wants to delete this before doing so. And if they click on OK, we delete it. And if they click on cancel, we just retain it as is. So this was what we sought out to do when we thought of creating an MVP. Let's take a quick look at the demo of where we are today. So here I've launched the app and this is a fresh install. So I don't have any activities yet. So this is an empty screen. I'm going to start creating an activity. So you see that the current time is reflected here in both start and end time and the current date as well. I'm adding the title of my task. So this is, I want to record MVP demo. And I want to do it on the 27th at 9 a.m. So I'm going to update that. And I'm going to set this like the time to like 15 minutes to complete this task. So 9 a.m. to 9:15. And if I click on the X mark before hitting done, before saving it, I'll get a prompt saying, hey, you have unsaved data. Are you sure you want to close without saving? So I'm going to say, no, I do want to save. So you can see that my activity here has been saved. This was the title that I gave to my activity, record MVP demo. And this was the duration that I set for it. 9 to 9:15 was 15 minutes. I'm going to add one more activity. So I'm going to add another activity for today, 26th March, for the wrap-up event that we have at 3 p.m., which is right now. So I'm going to update the start time to 3 p.m. and have it go until 3:45. I'm gonna just select done, we have it done, and you see both of my activities are here in the activity list screen. So now when I click on this event, this activity, I can edit it. I can say wrap up event and celebrate. And I'm also gonna extend the time of this activity to go until 4. And again, if I have any unsaved data and I click on close, I'll see that prompt. So as you saw earlier, when I had set the time from 3 to 3:45, it was 45 minutes. And when I bumped the time up to 4 p.m., now we have the reflected time of 1 hour. Now, if I go and delete this activity, I again get the prompt. And this time I'm going to say, yes, I want to delete it. And as you see, we don't see this activity. This is the settings screen, which was added as a bonus to play around and have like some beginner friendly issues, which was Sepideh's idea. Thank you, Sepideh, for coming up with that. Here it also had a theme switcher and some base selections. And one thing I wanted to also show was if I go ahead and kill the app, I'm just gonna kill the app and launch it again. I still see the activity because we added Room database implementation. So wanted to show that, highlight that as well. Now Sepideh is gonna walk us through some code. I'm gonna stop sharing for a bit.
Oh, can you continue to share the slides so we could go
Oh
through
yeah,
the
sure.
slides first?
Okay.
Okay, so everybody did such a great job on this. I ran this command get diff short stat a couple of PRs ago to see how many lines of code we had added, how many we had deleted, how many files we had changed. And this is what it said. If you take the most recent PR and copy the first 6 or 7 numbers in that, you could see what it stands at now. But we're working on bugs, so the changes at this point are small. Can you go on to the next slide? So we started with a few empty classes, and then we ended up with a 3-screen Android app. We're using Jetpack Compose. We're using MVVM architecture. We're using Hilt, Room, coroutines, and flows. We did a lot. Can you tap the thing again? For some job applications, you have to create your own demo app. And I have either gotten Hilt or Room working. I've never gotten both working in the same app. So I want you to understand that that's a big deal. Go on to the next slide, please. So a lot of people didn't know anything about Jetpack Compose when we started. And there was this issue with putting things on the right side of the screen and how to do it. And this spacer method was on Stack Overflow. If you put a space between two things and give a weight to the space, it forces the other views to the edges, and the space takes up all the space in between. But usually it's not good design to have this giant space on a screen. So we started moving to these more sophisticated approaches, like this method where we use horizontal arrangement to shift everything to the end of the screen. So it was neat to see everybody learning and growing in that way. Go on to the next one, please. And we didn't really get to this, but people were saw the wireframes and were excited about them. And they didn't understand why this little dialogue was blue. And this is in the theme file. And you could go into that theme file and change your primary color, and then you can make it the greens, and the app will look more in line with our designs if you want to. Go on to the next slide. And I wanted to highlight this in the coroutines. These are, you'll see these in the task detail view model. When you are doing work is anything that happens slowly, and that could be a database call, that could be a call to the internet, that could be you're doing a lot of math. You need to do this off the main thread. So You use dispatcher's IO so your UI does not freeze. This question comes up in interviews, so I wanted to highlight this for you because of that. I was going to try to demo a little bit of the app. I was going to do a live demo, and because live demos are cursed, I was going to crash my live demo. So we'll see how far we get into that. And if I start coughing, I'll end early and we'll go on to the next slide. Can you stop sharing your thing? Thank you. Okay. So can you see my screen with Android Studio? Yes? Okay. So this morning, Sue put in the last PR for this project. And I told her that it would crash, and then I told her not to worry about it because it's not going to crash for the rest of you. I am the one fortunate person that this will crash for. Here, I am opening Task Tracker, and it died immediately. And it died because I started doing this project with you from the beginning as soon as we created the database. So I have a row in that database and the date is empty. So when you go to time util, it tries to parse the date and it can't do it. It chokes and dies. But fortunately for us, Sue had a solution down here and we should have followed it and done things safely. So what we could do is return this if we can and catch our parse exception if we have one. And for this, I'm going to say calendar, get instance, time in millis, and that will return the time for right now. And this should fix our bug. And see, we have all the dates in order now, and they're in order because of Sue's PR from this morning, where in the task list view model, she sorted them as dates. You could sort by descending and just use the date from the database that is a string, but then you're going to get an alphabetical ordering by dates. And you know, all the A months will come at the top if you do that. So I thought this whole thing was really nicely done, everybody. And I was going to show you the piece about theming here. So you could see that my little screen is blue. And if we go into our theme file, this is all material U. So the colors are based on the colors of whatever picture you have on your home screen. I'm turning off dynamic colors so we can apply our own colors here. And we are doing the light color scheme, and someone kindly put the color green in our theme. And when we change and have the color green as our primary color, it just immediately changes all that. And this one looks a little crazy and probably could use more work. But I wanted to show you that it is possible to do this. I wanted to show you some stuff from task detail screen. So, a lot of, I'm looking for some texts. And, no. Oh no, my keyboard. Text. So there were people doing a lot of work on some of these texts, setting all sorts of colors and fonts like this. And that's a good place to start with Jetpack Compose, but you want to get to a place where you are doing this in your themes instead of in your rows, and that will look like, we don't have an example on the screen, sorry. But some of you were doing it. Sorry. So you want to get to the place where you're really using the theme and setting size and whether it's heavy, whether the font weight is bold or not inside that style. Instead of setting all those separate fields, because setting it in your theme will let you change everything very quickly. It will help you better support dark mode. And that's really all I had for the code walkthrough. I know it's a little bit disjointed. I'm going to stop my share. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Sapira. I'm gonna share my screen again and I see Ren.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Is it crispy? I hope it's extra crispy. Yeah, so we just wanted to take a minute to celebrate all our contributors here. Um, you know, shout outs to every single one of you. And I'm gonna say it right now, Cindy, Sue, Joshna, Rekha, Shraddha, Lubov, Ksena, and Jacqueline. Even if you did one or if you did many and you fixed bugs, it really contributed to this app working and to showing that, in a matter of like 2 months, basically, or 3 months, we pretty much like made a working thing. It does stuff. That's amazing. You could prototype this. You could post it on your pages and be like, I did this thing. So that's really big in itself. And I know that Sepideh mentioned that tons of code has been written and we have a lot to show for these months. And that's all because of you guys. Were there any other pointers we wanted to shout out in this? Yes. Now, what are we going to do next? After today's wrap-up event, we're gonna allow the project teams to rest because this has been kind of like a long, we've done iterations, but we've been at this a while, So all open issues in GitHub will be closed and labeled phase 2. There will be no more PRs reviewed from this point. Right? Right? Sepideh? No.
I could put it down. I really can. I really can.
That is correct, Ren. We're shutting it all down after this meeting.
Nice. And if there was a chance for a phase 2, it'll be decided by Women Who Code. If you want it, definitely mention it in a channel or to vui. And it may go down into a special box and someone will consider your opinion. They actually do really consider your feedback like a lot. but it won't happen for the next 6 months at least. So that's the caveat. So thank you for you guys. Thank you to all the ladies who contributed. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you, Gauri and Vui and Sepideh. We actually did this thing, and it's a PowerPoint now, and we have a working demo now. Ain't that crazy? We should submit this to the venture capitalists now, to the tune of $1 million. Oh, we're gonna transition to a meet and greet. I forgot about that. Yes, we have tons to talk about with you guys. Because now that we've gone through all this grinding, we want to know what your life is like. You know, the person behind the GitHub pages.
Person
Alright.
behind the pull requests.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording right now. So we will transition to the meet and greet right now.